or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks, exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Krekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
You know, Raiola and Holgerson, I'm sure, have had plenty of one-on-one meetings. We're going to close the door behind us, and I'm going to say, hey, what did you like from this offense? What did you not like? You know, Raiola knows at the end of the day what's really going on with this offense. To be honest, that's what needs to catapult this offense. And this whole team is Raiola's play. You know, Sat's philosophy and Raiola's philosophy or Raiola's skill set just didn't match. I think this is going to match Raiola, and it's going to allow for his skill set to come out.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
My husband has always been the one we depend on. He's a great dad, loves the outdoors, but lately he hasn't been himself. He tried to hide it, but I can tell he's struggling with his mental health. I called the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
988 calls and texts are free and confidential, with skilled caring support 24/7. No judgment, just help.
988 saved my husband's life.
Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America, this is What's Next 24. With the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome in to Ticket Sundays, hosted on the 1s and 2s. As always, We got the hosts, Mike and Sherry, in studio with me. Like I said, 402-464-5685. You guys want to join in? That is the Sartor Heyman text line. A little bit of reprieve. We'll start off with something nice on this Sunday before we get to Husker football with Jay Foreman later. And again, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961. With that being said, I'll throw it to the host, Mike and Sherry.
Well, good morning. Welcome to What's Next on 93.7 The Ticket. Glad you could join us today as we bring to you life stories of inspiration, motivation, and struggle. Our mission is to inspire and motivate you to take the lessons from today's story and make positive change in your life. So tune in today as myself, Sherry, and Harrison. I always want to mention Harrison.
Absolutely.
As Sherry and I are also the authors of Next 24, Discover Happiness and True Joy in Your Life While You Create a Legacy, which is available at Barnes & Noble in Lincoln. We hope our show and book empower you and find happiness and create a lasting joy. So let's go ahead and jump in. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning, Michael, and good morning, Harrison. And you guys, I just want to shout out Harrison. We could not do this without him. I know we keep saying how wonderful he is, but he truly is wonderful.
Yeah, he truly is.
Yes. Anyways, as Harrison knows, and as a lot of you know, but our guest doesn't know, we do a couple things to start our show off. First thing we do is we do affirmations, daily affirmations. Now, I have an affirmation jar, but unfortunately, when I got out of the car this morning, I dropped it and it broke into a million pieces. So, sorry the mill, sorry DP, I had to steal a cup. Just for now, I'll put it back, I swear. Anyways, we do our affirmations. Harrison, you want me to pick one and slide one to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Oops. Slide that one to him. We will let you pick one, Mr. Aaron. Let's see this one. If you get a blank one, you have to make one up. Here's mine. Michael?
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and start first. I am fearless today.
Yes, you are. I inspire others. Aaron, what does yours say?
Mine says, I am strong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Harrison?
I am kind.
You're what?
Kind. He is kind. Yes, he is.
Yes, you are
kind, man.
They said I'm cut. Like, okay.
Oh, well, listeners, today we have the pleasure. Oh, and I forgot. Please bear with me. I haven't had enough coffee. I'm sorry. I apologize. Once again, the other thing we do to start our show is we read out of our good friend Ricky C. Simmons, his 365 Days of Redemption. Ricky has an amazing story to tell. And he has a lot of informational quotes in this book, one for every single day. And we love this book. The one today that I picked is, some people say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing or taking a shower. That's why it's recommended daily. Being humble and grateful is difficult when you focus on the wrong things in life. Sometimes you have to lose things in order to really appreciate what you had. Life isn't always easy. Stay positive. It will get better. Be an encouraging person. The world has more than enough critics already. And thank you, Ricky. And once again, you guys can catch his show from 7 to 8 here on 93.7 The Ticket, the Ricky C. Simmons Get Your Happy On Hour. Now that we've got that business taken care of, we're going to introduce our very, very, very special guest to our show, Mr. Aaron Farber. Aaron is the development coordinator of the Wellbeing Initiative in Lincoln, Nebraska, right here in Lincoln. And this business, this organization is absolutely amazing. Aaron is a passionate advocate for mental health and substance use recovery. He's dedicated to empowering individuals to reach their fullest potential. With a background in business administration and management, as well as extensive experience in community outreach and nonprofit work, Aaron brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to this table. He's been instrumental in developing innovative programs and initiatives that have made a significant impact on the lives of many, not just in the Lincoln community, which you'll find out later, but in a lot of surrounding communities, including Omaha. Join us now as we dive into a conversation with Aaron about the mission, the programs of Wellbeing Initiative, and learn how you can get involved and support this incredible organization because they can't do it by themselves. Aaron, good morning. It's nice to have you here this morning.
Thank you for that
Aaron,
introduction, Sherry.
it's really good to have you on board today. So glad. I thought let's just jump in. Aaron, tell us a little bit about yourself in the beginning. Tell us where you're from and how this all began.
Oh, okay. I'm originally from Fremont, Nebraska. I'm somebody who Lincoln I call home because Lincoln is where I graduated from college. And in reality, if I'm looking at my age and a, a timeline of Earth, I would say I'm actually more of a Lincolnite than I am a Fremonter anymore, as far as how much time I've spent here. But at the same time, what I've learned in Lincoln, I'm a graduate of Nebraska Wesleyan, had an incredible opportunity my senior year of college there to intern at a place. I didn't really know what they did. It had this really vague name. I had two chances to be, you had to do an internship your last year of college there. And they usually set you up with people who are former Wesleyan grads. And I had a chance to do one that was paid, which I needed money because I was a poor college student. And I was working at Cedars at the time, which is an awesome place, but at the same time, I needed even more money. And if I was going to put some time into an internship, I wanted money. And I had something lined up at a kind of business banking financial firm that they'd pay me, for the time I put in. And then I went to this other place that wouldn't pay me, and it was kind of this vague name and kind of a hole in the wall. It was like the first floor and basement apartment of a building not too far from here. And I walked in, I was thinking for an interview, and instead they just handed me like a packet of stuff and said, "Hey, run this over to the Capitol." And when we say run, we mean run. And this is the room it needs to go to. And I found out that they thought I was starting that day. It was not an internship. And this was a government relations and lobbying firm called American Communications Group Incorporated. They are incredible. I think the two people who started that organization are still big mentors to me to this day. And they were like, "Oh, you start today. This isn't an interview. You go today." And there's no parking, so run. Go over there and run this over there. And it was like, well, okay, I don't really have a political science background, but they were sort of, and people always think of that as politics. I thought of it as I really got my education, my master's degree in advocacy and what it means to really fight the good fight. And I always tell people, sometimes you hear the L word, lobbyist, and you kind of feel a little, big tobacco. You kind of feel like, but hey, the good guys have lobbyists too, and we need them. And we need people to fight for you. We need people to have a voice for you. And I got to do that. And one of my first jobs out of college was at the legislature. And then ACG called me a couple of years later when I was expecting my first son, and they said, "Do you want to come back and get paid this time?" I said, "Yes." So, yeah, that's a little bit about me. And what's interesting too is that they've always represented mental health and behavioral health, and been the long-running representatives of a group called NABHO, which Wellbeing Initiative is actually a part of. So,
well, tell us. You told me personally that along this way, how you found Wellbeing Initiative in your personal life. You like all of us, had some struggles, had some challenges.
Yep.
If you wouldn't mind sharing us how you found well-being, but some of the challenges you had, some of the hurdles you had. Tell us that experience.
Absolutely. I'm somebody who I'll be real honest. I think I'm a pretty I got a sports background. You're kind of a man of the house background, and what happens is I think sometimes you're afraid to really say, "Hey, I need help," or "I'm struggling." So when you kind of bottle that in for a long time, and for the most part, I think through my 20s and early 30s, you were handling alcohol, or in a pretty successful way, pretty social, fun time way. You weren't having any belligerence or terrible events happening. And I think what you did, because maybe you were afraid to ask for help, is when things really started to turn, whether it be not happy at your job or not happy with your marriage, you were kind of not happy with yourself, and a lot of sort of kind of self doubt, a lot of inner struggle, you kind of turn to like, well, alcohol kind of numbs me a little bit. And there was probably 4 or 5 years where you were self-medicating. You
So
were,
kind of what they call a functional alcoholic. Where
yeah,
you drink, but you went to your job and
yes.
yeah.
I mean, what I would say by that is that I'm not I don't know if I like that term too much. Functional alcoholics.
I'm
Part of me is
sorry.
like, hey, if we're an addict, we're an addict, and
Right.
whether we're faking it or
Good point.
whether we're arrested or on the floor of a jail cell, it's the same. It's
What-
not
Right.
whether you're putting on a good show or whether you are you know uh, at rock bottom. It's still the same.
Aaron, when did you recognize you started to have a problem?
There was a moment where I was waking up in the middle of the night, and I think in my mind I was sort of telling myself that you're still doing good. You're being a good dad. I had my third son at the time, and hey honey, you sleep in. I'll take him for the early morning walk, or I'll get up with him when he's crying in the middle of the night. And a lot of that was like, I'll make him a bottle, but I'll make myself a drink too, to be real honest with you. And hey, as long as the 5 a.m. stroller walks, the people, the neighbors, the ladies on the street are waving at you and saying, "Oh, what a good dad you are." Like, they don't know what's in my tumbler cup is not, and maybe that's my excuse to wake up. But then I started realizing in the middle of the night, I was also having sort of a bit of a crisis with like feeling like there was an elephant on my chest and feeling like there was sort of this sort of stress and this kind of heart beating out of your body, and having moments of talking to my then wife at the time and talking to people about like, oh, you got anxiety, or you got this, or this is what it is to be a dad of 3, and financial things and everything. And I went along with that, and then I got prescribed things like Xanax. And then the next thing you know is that you're kind of hooked on Xanax, and you're kind of balancing out your day with both. And you're by the grace of God, you're not passing out behind the wheel. You're not getting into trouble. But at the same time, those are 2 terrible addictions. And the next thing you know, you are at a place where you finally take that first step and admit to somebody, like, I have a problem, to a doctor or a therapist or a counselor. And they're like, hey, I don't think you have anxiety. I think what was happening in the middle of the night was you were having withdrawal.
And this is a common problem throughout our country, throughout our nation, throughout our city or school, young, old, doesn't matter who it is. A lot of did you feel a lot of people I've noticed who have this, and me included, and a lot of drinking in my family, was isolation. That isolate is shh, keep it quiet. Let's not talk about this. Everything's okay and going through the day. But I hear you talking about feeling of anxiety, some stress, restless, but it was like, probably weren't talking about this too much going through the day. But people were noticing, I'm sure, around you. Tell us a little bit about how is this affecting your marriage, your family, your work, your daily life?
Well, it was definitely affecting everybody, whether they could diagnose it or pinpoint it or not. Because I have a lot of close people in my life who would probably say, I had no idea. And then you have other people in your life who say, the most difficult part is sort of maybe your emotional detachment from things.
Yes.
It's not that you were, again, it's not that it has to be when it comes to people asking for help, I think sometimes we always think it needs to be some sort of burning bush or rock bottom moment. And instead, sometimes it can be a little bit like, man, you've been faking it for 7 years. You've been floating through this, and there hasn't been a real major rock bottom. But you have to have a moment of this isn't a way to live. And certainly, I have an ex-wife now, a wonderful ex-wife, but at the same time, that played a role. I won't say that's entirely what happened, but at the same time, you have to kind of accept a big part is acceptance.
It plays a big part. And my brother and sister were alcoholics. Whether you call alcoholics, social drinkers, whatever it may be. There was a lot of reasons for that. I'd like to just ask you, what did you recognize when you hit what they call rock bottom? Was there a moment in time that said, "Oh my gosh, it's too much pressure. You have to seek help"? Because a lot of people go in denial, the justification, the denial and blame, the justifying why they drink, the blaming of others, minimizing their role in it. I see that quite a bit. Did you experience some of that yourself?
I did. What's interesting, and I don't want to diminish anybody who's had major, and I've worked with people who've had. I've worked with people who've had major. Car accidents where people have lost their lives. So I don't want to make my story sound small, but you still have a bit of a moment of. I remember months in advance buying tickets for me and a couple friends to a rock concert show of one of our favorite bands, and I'd purchased the tickets. Alcohol is legal. I could have gone to the show and legal. Still drink. And I remember just skipping it. I remember skipping a show with my friends and a band I love, and I could have still. And I remember when I knew, like, hey, this is out of your control, man. When you were like, I'd rather just stay home with a cheap bottle of booze in the dark and watch, binge a TV show. And that was like, oh, you got, like, you're skipping fun things that you can still, partake in, and you're skipping that because you are more of a lonely, dark room type of guy.
Well, thank you for sharing this, because I think this is very common, but people in the community a lot don't want to talk about it. I saw that for years. People don't want to talk about it, but it still happened. The activity still happened. Things still happened. When did you get to a point? I want to kind of shift though, when, okay, now I recognize I have a problem, but like I saw it in my own family and brothers and sisters, unless they want to do something, they're going to keep opening that bottle. They're going to start hiding that bottle.
Right.
I'll give you a story. For example, my brother would go through recovery, but then he'd disappear. Couldn't find him. He'd be downstairs. We'd find empty bottles of vodka under the bed, in the closet, and outside somewhere, always stashed away, but don't talk about it. And I see that very much with very many people. I don't know if you got to that point, but what I'm getting at is when did you recognize that I've got to seek help? Did you have that moment?
Yeah, I had that moment. And that's a great question, because that's why I'm here today is talking about how people are scared for the stigma of asking for help, because there's the weakness in it.
Yeah, there's that resistance of walking into the door.
There's not a judge sending me to get help. We call that being scholarshiped. Like you are. It is more, you have to make that decision yourself. And then, a lot of folks with myself, being involved in a program, that first step is kind of, I have a problem, and it's above me and it's bigger than me.
Can you pivot to now? Where did you? Because I didn't know anything about well-being before we started talking here. Many people probably in the community, that's what I want to shift to, are not aware of what's available to them. What did you first do? Where did you go seek this? Was it Well-Being Right Away initiative, or was it other places? What did you do?
The place I went to for treatment, it was actually about 5 blocks from my house, and I had never heard of it. It's the Bryan Independent Center here in town. I have no problem shouting them out. They're outstanding.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, they are.
And I think you were scared because it's going to be basically you locked away for 30 to 45 days. And it's going to be some stigma. There's going to be some judgment. There's going to be some things that you're scared of. And there's going to be some, can I be away from income? Can I be away from my family? Can I be away from this? But at the same time, for me, it worked because I kind of needed to be reprogrammed a little bit, locked away from like the easy access to my for lack of a better term, medication.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Is this when did you discover Wellbeing? Because you not only work here now, you went through the process at Wellbeing. Is that correct?
No, I've been with Wellbeing since February. I have been blown away by what they offer. But when I talk about stigma or people being scared to ask for help, I think that's where we certainly want more awareness.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to know that we are not just in a place where you can find some hope, but a place where you can find a, without financial burden, ability to have somebody with the same or similar lived experience as you walk you through what your next recovery plan is going to look like.
So prior to Wellbeing and working there, because I thought you went through the program first, but what you went through, Brian, you say, was your first attempt at recovering successful? A lot of people have relapses. A lot of people go back. Did you experience any of that?
There's been relapses. There's been. I always tell people if they want to know my recovery plan, it's been ongoing for about 5 to 6 years. Some of that could be 2 years of doing great, and some of it can be, certainly the pandemic was tough on a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of loneliness and or divorce is tough on a lot of people. So full disclosure and honesty, and I'm not afraid to say that, but what we want to tell everybody is that you know, in the world of recovery, whether it be substance use challenges or mental health challenges, you can come back. You can find a way, and you can come back. Because unfortunately, I've lost some friends.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can tell when they sort of disappear off the map and start not getting back to you, and then it's very unfortunate. Sometimes you get some texts that they have passed on.
For our audience, if you'd share, what was some of the key success stories in your recovery?
Oh gosh, great question. Some of the people you meet, I think some of the people you meet it's incredible. I tell people sometimes that hey, all of us could probably use a recovery action plan. Whether we have a substance use problem or diagnosed mental health challenge problem, like some of the best people I know are people who we like to say we get to work on ourselves every day.
Yes,
I have the blessing of I get to work on myself every day, and there are people in my life who they're not addicts or alcoholics, or they're not maybe engaged in the idea of like I have nothing to fix, I have nothing to work on. And it's like, well, you know, we all kind of do. And some of these things, you know, having a support system and having people around helps.
Well, tell us, where were you working at that time? Were you weren't at Wellbeing, correct?
No.
How did you find Wellbeing as an employment?
I was in Omaha before Wellbeing. I was working at Metro Community College Foundation, and I was wanting to get back to Lincoln. Obviously, with divorce and my children being in Lincoln, and Lincoln being more my home base, wanted to get back. And I heard about Wellbeing Initiative, and I did some research, and they had this job opening, and I was like, well, I think this kind of sounds about perfect for me. You know, so that's why I came back.
Well, you know, it's interesting. So were you driving back and forth between Lincoln and Omaha?
I was for a bit, and now I'm getting more.
Because I remember, not myself, but I said my brother and family, recovery period takes a long time. It's a challenge. It takes a process. There's a lot of change in your personal life and challenges in work. And so I appreciate you sharing that story. We need to take a break, and then I want to jump into Wellbeing itself. So let's take a break, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for affordable drinks and a great atmosphere this football season? Highball Bar has you covered. Whether it's pregame tailgating, postgame festivities, or in-game celebrations, Highball Bar is the place to be. With $4 beers, $4 mixed drinks, and more during their 4 to 8 p.m. daily happy hour, Highball Bar will quickly become your go-to place to sit back, unwind, and be your team's #1 fan. Highball Bar, located in downtown Lincoln, just 3 blocks from Memorial Stadium at 122 North 11th Street.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
You know, Raiola and Holgerson, I'm sure, have had plenty of one-on-one meetings. We're going to close the door behind us, and I'm going to say, hey, what did you like from this offense? What did you not like? You know, Raiola knows at the end of the day what's really going on with this offense. To be honest, that's what needs to catapult this offense. And this whole team is Raiola's play. You know, Sat's philosophy and Raiola's philosophy or Raiola's skill set just didn't match. I think this is going to match Raiola, and it's going to allow for his skill set to come out.
This show's pretty rockin', huh?
Yeah, I'm so glad my State Farm agent helped me go.
Huh?
My State Farm agent. They help me with options to personalize my auto insurance to get a great rate that fits my budget, so I don't have to give up the things I love.
Wow. Hey, so do you think I could get your State Farm agent's number?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinnie Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome back into What's Next 24. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. We got the host Mike and Sherry in here, as well as a great guest. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. With that being said, throw it back over to the host, Mike and Sherry.
Thank you, Harrison. We're back with Aaron Farber, Development Coordinator at Wellbeing Initiative. Aaron, thank you for sharing your personal story. I think that stories need to be told. That's why we do this show, so that the community can hear stories. If somebody's listening who has some type of abuse or some type of issue going on in their life and they need help, a lot of times people don't know where to turn. I'd like to jump in now. Tell us about Wellbeing Initiative. You found it. Of course, you've lived what people go through. So what I always talk about is there's always darkness and then there's light. In your own darkness, you found the light, in my opinion, and you found well-being. And so it becomes your passion, it comes within your heart. Tell us, what is Wellbeing Initiative?
Wellbeing Initiative is, I think, a lot of folks who are struggling. It was great that Sherry passed out these affirmations this morning. I'm strong is the one I grabbed out of your cup. But I think people don't realize there's courage in asking for help and seeking help. I think the stigma in this community is very much, not this community, in every community, is that asking for help or admitting defeat is weakness or is something, a character defect and or a lack of willpower. And at the same time, I think a lot of folks who have the courage to ask for help or seek help are the strongest of us. You know.
Oh, I think the hardest thing is to walk through those doors the first time.
Yeah.
Tell us about Wellbeing Initiative. How did it get started? Tell us about the process and your role there at Wellbeing.
Well, the mission of Wellbeing Initiative has been around for over 10 years, but we officially became Wellbeing Initiative around 2018. The building we're in now, we've been in for about 2.5 years. Don't quote me on that. But it was started, and the mission of the folks and our chief officers who began the organization was finding an opportunity to really get people in touch with this thing called peer support. And what peer support is getting folks with substance use disorder challenges or mental health challenges in touch with programming, whether it be group or one-on-one, with folks who are certified, but also have that lived experience. You know, if I'm working with somebody who has never walked through the door or was referred to us and they have struggles that are kind of similar to what we've gone through, it's not just, we're not officially counselors, but at the same time, we're going to kind of lock elbows with you, lock arms with you, walk down the road with you, and formulate that recovery plan that puts you in a place where I know I have somebody to reach out to. So it's more than just having a sponsor. It's more than having a friend. It's having somebody who, hey, here's some things that might work for you. I always say recovery is not a one size fits all. It is not paint by number for a lot of folks. It can be more of a buffet. Like I need to do about 6 or 7 things. And that might be getting in touch with a counselor. Maybe we'll help you make sure you're going to that. Maybe we'll help you get into those AA or NA rooms. Maybe we'll introduce you to some other people who have gone through similar things as us. Maybe it's about putting you more in touch with the physical or touching grass aspects of physical health.
And I'm assuming too, it's not just a person with alcohol problems.
No.
Yeah. Let's walk through this. I come through your door. What's the very beginning? What's the process?
We take walk-ins. You fill out some basic paperwork. What is incredible about Wellbeing Initiative is we are a 501c3, not-for-profit organization, meaning if you come in and whether you have insurance or do not, we are not going to turn you away for any sort of financial burden. We are going to serve you, and we are going to meet you where you are at. What that means is whether you were referred here from one of our partner programs, and I could list off our partners, but at the same time, I'm afraid with the time we have, I would forget one and I'd hear from them on Monday. So we want the control to still be in the hands of the participant, but at the same time, meet them where, hey, this is what works for me. This is a piece that I like. This is a thing I like. This part of thing maybe I don't like, and we're going to kind of get you in touch with those things again. Like what serves you, what is best for you to find that.
How do you initially, for lack of a better term, diagnose what my problem would be when I come in? That's people sometimes they'll walk in the door and they say, "Oh, this is the problem," but that's not the problem. Something else. It may be something from their past. Might be anger management. Might be alcohol, might be a number of different things. How do you initially pinpoint what that may be? And then how do you know then, okay, this is where we think you need to start? Can you share that?
Great question. Well, number one, we are not officially diagnosing anybody.
Right.
At the same time, we would hope that when people come in, they already have a bit of an idea why they're there. Whether that be,
I should have said lead, maybe lead. You're right. Diagnosis isn't the right word. But,
right.
But trying to figure out what's going on with this individual. Where do we start?
It starts a lot of times with those one-on-ones or those really, getting with a recovery community navigator, getting with a peer support specialist, attending one of our group sessions, and really developing that relationship.
Can you share with me deeper? Because the peer support and the group sessions. I think many people right now, society is so lonely, so depressed, so to get into a peer group can be frightening. To have to peel back the layers and share their personal story or whatever they may be in a group. How do we get you to start talking? How do we get this going?
I think that's where what's incredible at peer support is. It's so much easier talking to somebody who has similar experience. It doesn't mean all of our stories are exactly the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we're all the same.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of things you learn in recovery are like, hey, maybe I'm not a unique butterfly, not a unique flower. I'm actually like a lot of other people.
I'd like to know deeper. What do you offer? Because it's not just recovery. I'm assuming in terms of whole lifestyle, some personal development, the whole gamut of mind, body, spirit, health. Do you offer those as well?
We do. We have we are, one of the things I want to go back to is it's not just about that we offer peer support specialists, since we have, 32 employees across Lincoln, Lancaster County and Nebraska City and Omaha. But at the same time, we are the largest provider in the state of Nebraska of peer support certification training. And that's kind of one of the things we hang our hat on the most is if you are out there and you are somebody with enough sobriety under your belt or enough recovery from mental health challenges under your belt and would like to be interested in becoming a peer support specialist and be certified, we can help you with that because nobody has more to give than people who have been through it.
Yes.
And that's who I want to talk to. That's who I want to be in the room with. I mentioned earlier, some of the best people I've met in my life are people who, holy cow, their personal story is basically them accepting every day, like, hey, it was dark once and I accepted it.
Sherry, I'm sorry. Sherry, you had some questions.
Well, it's the thing that I found interesting, and I did interview one of Aaron's recovery community navigators,
Mhm.
which is also a peer support.
Well, not one of mine. They
Well,
I don't oversee them, but yeah,
but
one of
but
Wellbeing's. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
with well-being. And it just, my first question was, so what kind of schooling do you need? It's like, you don't need schooling.
Mhm.
You go through a class to get certified, but what this whole thing is about is pairing people with other people, common people that have walked through the same walk, that know what it's like to be that down, that have experiences and have ideas and know how to support because they've been in that spot. And I think that sometimes, and we are very much advocates for counseling. But sometimes you walk in a counseling office and they do their thing and you do your thing, but sometimes you walk out of there going, you've never been here. How do you even know how I feel?
Right.
And I think that this is what really makes this program so unique. So unique. And I mean, it's like I said, you don't have to be a PhD, to be a peer support specialist.
Right. Our training can be pretty intensive, and it involves some hours, but at the same time, regarding cost or your background, really, you educational wise, whether it's a GED or high school diploma, um, to be able to prove that your background will say, many people with a lived experience may have certainly some um, dark pasts, but at the same time, we're going to accept all who have shown the ability to kind of move past that and the ability to kind of, hey, we want to do this, we want to work with you.
Is there a need for more people to come on
Absolutely.
board? Okay.
The demand is very high. If I can do my job and whether it be raise dollars or find the funding to have 5 more offices or to have a number of more staff, the demand is huge. And especially we talked about, especially in the last couple of years since the pandemic, a lot of people really felt that loneliness pretty hard. And you saw a lot of folks, whether they had sobriety under their belt or not, or they really turned to, addiction and mental health struggles really resurfaced for some folks, or came into the light for some folks. Yeah.
Aaron, how many people would you say walk through your doors each year?
Oh, God, great question. Thousands, but at the same time,
large numbers.
Large numbers, and at the same time, getting back to like the programs we offer, we have certain group sessions. We have things called like creative connections, which is trying to get people back in touch with maybe their artistic side, maybe their creative side.
Oh,
We
that's
have
great. That's
yoga.
awesome.
So we also do a lot of sort of physical,
the programs,
or getting you back in touch with a talent you may have. But we also do smart recovery, RAP. RAP is really training people or working with people on. RAP is I'm getting into acronym soup here, vegetable soup. RAP is WRAP. That's a Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And, smart recovery is certainly working with people to formulate, and it's a very successful plan about making a plan that kind of puts you in a place to recover. Yeah.
Can you share some testimonials, or what have you seen? You've seen a number of people go through the program.
Yeah.
Can you share some positive results?
Absolutely. We have people who, well, number one, I think the term recovery, why it's called recovery is you sort of never heal.
No.
It's and I like that term. I really embrace it, because it's not like breaking an arm and putting a cast on it and my bone's going to be fixed in 6 weeks.
Correct.
It's more, I am on the verge of going right back into that at any time the rest of my life. So I'm constantly in a state of recovery. But to know that we have people who walk through our doors, who have been coming to see us for years, who have been working with us for years, and even if we see like these successes, these people do awesome things, the fact that they still come back is really neat to say that, like, hey, I still want to come here for this group session. I still want to meet with my peer support specialist regularly. I still want to, or I'm going to recover and pursue my own certification, or I want to do the same thing you guys do. That's
I think
awesome.
that's what's wonderful to hear, that somebody will go through the recovery program, become so passionate about it, it becomes their life, that they turn around and become a mentor within the organization for people that come in the doors down the future. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in the mental health landscape?
Well, one of the unfortunate trends is sometimes funding is being slashed or cut, and not to get too into that conversation, but it leads to trying to meet the demand. It's trying to meet the demand of how many people come through your door, how many referrals you have, and you're not the only organization. What's awesome about peer support and wellbeing initiative is that we're not really in competition with anybody else.
No.
We want to put people who are seeking help and wellness seekers in the right position. And that might be us. We like to say we're there for you before, during, and after.
During and after. That's wonderful. We need to take a break. We'll be right back again with Aaron Farber from Wellbeing Initiative.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving feast. Pre-order a 12-pound whole smoked turkey or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A 4-pound boneless ham is $50. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Early break. You're going to give me crap for this? I was not in the stands for the blocked field goal kick.
This is what? I did what? You did the
I
unleaving
knew.
again?
No, this is why.
Oh, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Whatever you're going to say,
I
this,
knew
I'm not even going to believe.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Cyber threats are everywhere. When is the last time you stopped to think about how you're protecting your business from potential data breaches, phishing scams, or ransomware? It's time to make cybersecurity a priority for your business. At Hamilton, our unmatched expertise and cutting-edge technology goes beyond basic defense, providing proactive, tailored solutions that keep your data, network, and digital assets protected. Better protection, better cybersecurity with Hamilton. Visit our website at hamiltonisbusiness.com to learn more.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
The bell rings and the school day starts. The future of our fiber hoods lies in their hands. That's why Allo Fiber invests in schools, students, and the next generation of leaders. If you sign up for Allo service between now and December 31st, Allo will donate $50 to the school of your choice. Joining the Allo Fiber family isn't just about crazy fast, reliable internet. It's about giving back to your local community and investing in what matters most. Switch to Allo today and we'll donate $50 to your chosen school. Visit allofiber.com/education to make a difference now.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome back into What's Next 24. Harrison Runs on the ones and twos on this Sunday morning. We got Mike Sherry, the host as always, as well as a great guest in the studio. Not a ton of time left, so I'll throw it right over to the host,
All
Mike
right.
and Sherry.
Well, thank you, Harrison. Again, we're speaking with Erin Farmer, Development Coordinator at the Wellbeing Initiative. Sherry, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know you've got a few quick things you would like to read.
And unfortunately, this is the time of our show where we're like, okay, we got to hurry and get everything in just a couple minutes. So I'm going to go super fast on this. However, I had the distinct pleasure of, on the phone, interviewing one of Wellbeing Initiative's recovery community navigator, Shelby Gill. And she also is a peer-to-peer support specialist. She told me basically what they do. They carry a caseload of participants that work peer-to-peer. This is a one-on-one time with each participant. They offer a type of buddy support system, so to speak, for people going through all sorts of mental illnesses, including drug and alcohol addiction. Depending on each individual participant, this includes meeting with the individual in the community sometimes, meeting at gyms, going for walks in a park, coffee, lunch, sometimes in their respective homes, and also in the jail facilities such as the Douglas County Correction Center in Omaha. Shelby, I think most of her caseload is in Omaha. During these meetings, they offer support and accountability depending on each participant's needs. For the participants that are incarcerated, they offer support and help plan and encourage the steps the participant needs to start a new life upon release. Some of these includes writing a resume, finding a place to live, connecting them to community resources, and etc. For the ones who will be incarcerated for a longer period, the navigators offer one-on-one support, as a lot of these participants have no family or friends that contact or visit them. They've been written off. They battle complete loneliness. Navigators offer help with coping skills for these participants, things the participants can do to get through the depression, anxiety, and hopelessness on a day-to-day basis. They help them with breathing exercises, motivational videos, lyrics to encouraging songs, etc. The participants who are incarcerated have access to tablets to be able to talk to their navigator as needed. Unfortunately, Douglas County Corrections and other jail systems don't offer any type of counseling unless the participant is on a suicide watch. They have classes the person can sign up for if they qualify, but it's not one-on-one. And this program has a very long waiting list. Navigators are most of the time the only contact the incarcerated have. Their caseload includes all ages and genders. They work very hard at getting the participant to realize that a bad decision doesn't define that person the rest of their life. Everybody makes bad decisions and bad choices in their life, but unfortunately, a lot of people are quick to judge addicts, alcoholics, the homeless, and the incarcerated, even though they don't know the whole story of what led to some of the bad choices that were made. For instance, abuse, childhood trauma, family splitting up, sexual assault, etc. Unfortunately, a lot of people were never taught healthy coping skills and turned to the drugs, alcohol, and crime to get through their pain. The navigators and the navigators and peer support specialists are not counselors, which we mentioned before. They're individuals who have life experience with mental health, addictions, or other issues. Anybody from all walks of life can do peer support. Wellbeing Initiative is a nonprofit and offers all services at no cost to the participant. The participants are athletes, college athletes, high school athletes, adults, business people, families, kids, and anybody who needs support and accountability with mental health issues, whatever the cause may be. And they offer a wealth of classes in their Wellness Education Center. There's 12-step yoga, cancer support groups, a class called Alternative to Suicide, and even fun family building events like Family Zumba. The navigators also do community presentations to numerous businesses and organizations, including schools, on opioid overdose awareness, including how to procure and administer Narcan. I asked this navigator how they cope with all the emotions that they deal with and some of the heartbreaking and shocking stories and circumstances that they hear, especially in the jail system. She said she journals, she reads, and especially prays. She also prays before she walks into an appointment with our participant, whether it be in a coffee shop, a home, or jail. Wellbeing Initiative has a program twice a month, and this is so impressive. It's for their employees called Co-Reflection. It's a safe space for the employees to talk and process through the emotions and traumas that they hear and deal with on a daily basis. This helps their mental health and helps alleviate emotional burnout so they can be stellar at what they do. Most of the employees that have chosen this path love their jobs. They feel like they're making a difference and wouldn't want to be doing anything else. You guys, this is a program that is so needed, not just for volunteers and people who want to get certified to be peer support specialists, but for the whole shebang, so to speak. And the fact that it is a nonprofit is just, it's amazing because as I'm sure you all can agree that the mental health system is a little broken. And there's, like Aaron mentioned, there's not a whole lot of funding. I'm going to turn this back over to Aaron for the last couple minutes. We're going to give you the mic. You tell us what you want to tell the community. You tell also the community that are listening that might own business, how they can support Wellbeing Initiative financially. So it's your deal now. The mic is yours, Aaron.
Okay, thanks, Sherry. Well, thanks for that. That's awesome that Shelby shared that with you. She really covered it as far as what it means entirety of what our amazing staff do. What the need is honestly that stigma of, we're going to get back to the idea of asking for help. If you were out there and listening, and look, we're the only people who look at ourselves in the mirror and know ourselves the best. And maybe us and our higher power know that, but at the same time, we know when there's something wrong, and we sometimes can suppress or put it off. And there can be times that you need to seek help when it doesn't have to be after something law enforcement related, doesn't have to be after something we'll say an official, rock bottom. It can be.
Aaron, real quick, looking at the time. If somebody's out there needs help today, what's the best way that they can contact you or the organization?
They can come right into our office. We are at 5530 O Street, Suite 2. We have this beautiful office, tons of space. We have the WEC Center, which is our Wellness and Education Center.
Let me
they
just
can come right in.
Let me just wrap and say, if you or know someone who could benefit from the services of this well-being initiative, please reach out. This is a fantastic organization that can really help you. We need to wrap up. We're running out of time. Aaron, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
This was so
Just-
needed today.
Just
Harrison?
remember really quick, you guys out there, as far as this group is concerned, there is no age group. You can be young, you can be old, and everything in between. It doesn't matter. Just get there and get some help.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.